Good morning. I'm about to vacuum the pool, so I thought I'd take a short video or put together one so that you could see what I actually do. I hope this helps in the future should I not be able to do it. All right, let's get going. So I entered the shed, and usually the only two pieces for the pool vacuuming I keep in here are the filter head, which will go on as I'll show you later, and the large tubing that is used to filter. And it's hung on the wall with a bungee cord wrapped around and strung up there and kind of neatly tucked away. Okay. So those are the actual three items I keep in the shed. The hose is on the left. The little filter head that goes in the skimmer is in the middle. And the vacuum head is to the right. So I'll show you where I put them. So the three items go first, the hose that gets hung up. That's hung. And then these two items I just put in the little drawer here. One goes here on top, and then right behind that I keep the filter head, the vacuum head. And that's it. So one of the first things I look at before I decide to vacuum the pool is the water level. As you can see, it's down below the two eyelets. So in reality, I don't like vacuuming when it's that low because part of the tubing going into the filter is actually in air, and that can suck in air and lose power. So I'm going to actually fill the pool up until it's above those two. So it's going to take a little break, and we'll be back. A little tip, I usually keep a big screwdriver right in there so that I always have it for use out here in tightening clamps and doing the filtering. So I leave it there in the summer. Okay, so I'm about to show you how I set up the inset area. There's a little panel inside, and to be truthful, I should probably get a video of that. So I'll show you what I'm going to take out inside to get the hose hookup ready. So inside, there's a small door, and that door has to be removed to give access to the full filter. There's two little latches, one on each side, that has to be pushed in and pushed in. Once I push those in, it'll retract the little extensions that go into the sidewall. So I'm pushing one in, it's come loose, pushing the other in, it's coming loose, and then the part comes free. The two little latches are here. You can see as I pull in, it pulls the door in that goes into a small hole on the filter. Same on the other side. It retracts. This one's a little sticky, actually. Spring, there it goes. There it goes. So that's it. That takes that out. There's a small stone in the bottom of the basket to hold it securely down. It won't really affect the vacuuming. I like to keep it so that it's in position. The next step is to put the filter head in, which is here. I just lower it in. It might capture a little bit of air, but that's okay. But the key trick I've learned over the years is to take some stones and put one stone there, one stone on each side, and then hopefully a third stone. Yeah, vertical. So there it sits. So that extra weight actually seals that receptacle against the bottom flange. And what that does is it keeps the vacuum solid so that you retain a good vacuuming while you're actually running the whole vacuum. Eventually, the tube will get secured right here with a ring clamp, and that'll come through once it's solid and filled. As I said, I'm filling the pool a little bit higher so that the entire seal stays underwater while I'm actually vacuuming. Okay, that's the setup here. We're waiting for the pool to fill a little bit more. We put these things right here. These two things, I usually take them off the rail and put them on the ground nearby. One thing I forgot to mention when I brought out the equipment was the actual pole and filter head. And I will go get those and I'll set them up as I see fit on the equipment. All right. So what you're seeing here is a layout of the hose. I actually have the head that's going to connect to the filter body or that flange on the left, and way down there strung out on the right is the filter head that will go to the actual filter that touches the bottom of the pool. That one, you can tell the difference because I'll show you that it actually rotates. So this one rotates. You can see that it rotates to allow the filter head to turn. So that's the side that goes on to the filter head, which I'll get in just a bit. Okay, this segment is dedicated to showing you how I connect the filter head here, or the vacuum head I really should call it, to the pole. The pole just slides in. There's two small receptacles. They just wiggle in and click in place. Now that's secure. It won't move. The next thing I do is loosen up the ring clamp quite a bit. Make sure it doesn't stick going in. It's really very loose. Put it over the head and really kind of push down on the head so that it secures right to the bottom, and it is. Then I take the ring clamp and just tighten it back up quite securely. Sorry. We'll speed this part up. Give it a good tightening. Don't go crazy, but nice and firm, good hand tight. That's it. That's secured on there. And then I will show you how I insert this in the pool, because it has to go in from the bottom up to continuously feed water into this tube all the way to the top so it's solid when it makes the connection with that receptacle on the top of the filter area. So a little tip, I usually take out the floats so that they don't interfere with the vacuuming. So I've actually overfilled the pool a little bit, and that was intentional so I could backwash and rinse out so I can get a good vacuum. You can see the filter is a little high. The water's high. So with the filter in the off position and everything open, I've opened the gate valve. Put it first in drain to make sure there's a little bit of drain coming out. And then you just rotate it to backwash. Once it's in the backwash position, you actually just flip the switch on the motor. You make sure the timer's in the on position too, and you'll actually get some filtration. So this is the water coming out in the backwash, and I'll do that until the water is clear. To judge water clarity, there's a small glass vial on the side of the filter. You can keep an eye on that, or you just let it run for maybe 5-7 minutes, something like that, maybe 5 minutes. You'll also notice that the whole water system is solid. You can actually see that the water is right to the top of the little exchange system here and not drawing down or drawing in air. That's good. You can also check the pressure. It's usually just a little bit around 20, maybe a little bit over 20. And that's pretty good. It's not the best, but it'll do. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little less, but the water's clear. So I shut the power off, and then you just rotate it up, really the other way, but to rinse. It's now in the rinse position. I'm going to turn the motor back on and let that run for maybe about 2 to 3 more minutes just to get some nice rinse through the filter. Okay, it's been rinsing for a few minutes. Now I put it into the filter position and I turn it back on just to make sure everything is solid. It sounds great. So I'm actually going to shut it off now so I can connect up the filter to the vacuum. Okay, I'm going to actually hook in the vacuum as I normally do. I got to push it in through the water, lower the tubing constantly to fill it, and then connect it. I've got my screwdriver all prepared on the top because there is a ring clamp on the very end. So we're going to get going on that. I try to make sure to have the vacuum tube on the right side because that'll be what gets connected. So we start by lowering the head. Get it firmly against the bottom of the pool. And then we slowly lower the rest of the tube in to make it solid. You want water in there. When I say solid, that means completely filled with water, not air. So bit by bit, a foot at a time, I'm actually pushing it all into the water. It'll turn up and curve, but that's just the force of the way it's going in. The water is still solid. You got to keep it firmly on the bottom, but gradually you get the whole thing in. Some of it is rising to the top, but it's filled with water. And you can confirm that at the end because the water will actually rise up into the tube at the very end. You'll see it. So I kind of get my arm around. Tricky. Hold it here without pinching yourself. No watch on. Loosen up the O-ring. Or not the O-ring, the ring clamp. And again, you want to loosen it enough so that it doesn't stick going on to the part there. If I could, I would bring the camera here so you could see it, but I'll take a picture of it clamped on in a minute. So I'm lowering this in the water, and sure enough, the water's coming up right through the top. So that means it's all solid, filled with water. I kind of bring this over, hold it with my elbow, put the particular hose on, give it a nice push, and then I take the screwdriver and tighten up the ring clamp. Just tight enough that it holds. Careful not to push the screwdriver in and rupture the basket. So it's getting tighter. I'm not going to go crazy. Okay, that's tight. I get this off, and then I stretch this out. So that's how it's connected on. You can see that the rocks are in place, holding it down with weight, and the ring clamp is attached, and I screwed it on tightly there. But that's the filter hose. That's the way it attaches to the filter head here, or the fixture, and the ring clamp seals it. So it should be all solid, and this whole thing is well underwater now. So if there's a little leakage, it just draws water, not air. That's why I filled it up high. You don't want that in air. So now I'm about to show you how I vacuum the pool. This may not be the way Mike or somebody else does it. I don't mind getting up on top and just vacuuming. Feet are dry. A little bit of balance. Balance. Use the pole. Use the pool for stability, the pole. And now I'm up. get down, I just put the pole up against the far wall, lay it down, do kind of a little rotate here, balanced, put my ass over the pole, lean forward, and that wasn't the best one. Okay, so now we're just gonna reverse everything. Take the stones out, get those out of the way, and then I'm gonna undo the ring clamp. Here you don't have to do too loose, just enough to know that it's flexible, because you don't want to lose it in the pool. So it's loose. So I'm just going to come around, put my arm in the other side, hold the ring clamp. Now I detach, or I reattach the ring clamp here. I just make sure that it's finger tight, just so it doesn't slip off and drop into the pool. There, plenty tight. And I take this out of the pool. Guess I didn't show you finger tightening it. I just tighten this screw up so that it's on firm and that it doesn't slip off when I take it out of the pool. I can take this piece out. There is some residue in there, so you want to try to be careful to not let too much of that back in. You can take the basket right out, and you can see that quite a bit has collected from the vacuuming. I'll clean that out momentarily on the ground. I'm going to rest it here on the pool for now. So now I'm just going to pull the hose right out of the pool, always keeping it up so that it drains out. Just let it rest on the ground. Try not to step on it. Kink it. Always keep it up. Let the water drain back into the pool. So this part's empty, this part's solid, full. And you go over and kind of match up with the pole. You pull it out, always keeping it up. When it gets to about this point, I insert the pole most of the way. And then just continue to extract it from the pool. Let the water drain. A little gets down your shirt. And then just tip it over the side. And I kind of walk it out. Tip it up. I just put the basket back in. I put the small stone in the basket. I take away the big stones, put them on the side for next time, as well as I put away the screwdriver. Put that where I showed you before. Then I put the door back. Remember the spring door? That just kind of slides in now because once it hits the holes, the springs push it out. There it is. It's in the, there it goes. I heard it click in. I can feel it. And then I just put the top head back on. It's got a little keyway. Goes in and turns a little bit, maybe ½ inch. And this has lost some of its vacuum. So I've got to reconnect that. So to re-flood it, you have to actually turn it counterclockwise and bang it. Ow! Getting weaker in my old age. There it goes. Floods out and then lock it back. Just finger tight. Now it's flooded. It's right up to the top. So to detach this, just reverse things. You take the ring clamp and loosen it. Once it's loose, you do have to give that a good pry. You put these two retractors in. This comes off. And then you remember to tighten this up, otherwise you'll lose them. Again, just finger tight. Well, hand tight, I guess. There. Just so you know it's not going to come off. And this part, I just roll this up. Give it a nice round roll. Just make sure it's emptied. And then I make a nice little circle. Small. Maybe 4 feet, 3 feet in diameter. It's got kind of a natural curve to it, so you can kind of follow it. Nice and tight. It's about maybe 3 to 3.5 feet circular. And it follows around. You try to loop it so that it's looped up. I'll show you how you attach the bungee cord to it. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to get the bungee cord, if I can find it. And where it overlaps, right in the middle, I just tend to rope this around, catch it one time, and there you go. It's ready to transport. It's a little bit bigger than I hoped. So those are the actual 3 items I keep in the shed. The hose is on the left, the little filter head that goes in the skimmer is in the middle, and the vacuum head is to the right. So I'll show you where I put them. So the 3 items go, first, the hose, that gets hung up. That's hung. And then these 2 items, I just put in the little drawer here. One goes here on top, and then right behind that, I keep the filter head, the vacuum head. And that's it. So that's it. That's my little video on vacuuming the pool. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find it helpful.